pendulum swinging slow and degenerate moving.
Through the city with criminal stealth, welcome the enemy turf, harder than immigrants work.
What's going on? Welcome back to L.O-FI Live, episode 2. I told y'all I was going to waste some more time, and I was going to get back into it. Sorry for making my tea and taking too long to get to the video. Podcast. It's a podcast. Anyway, so, I appreciate y'all for retuning in. And for today's episode, we're going to be talking about my favorite horror movie, Evil Dead 2. I'm so childish. But yeah, man, how y'all doing, man? I hope everybody's doing all right. I hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, man, so I had to bust out the tea for this one. I hope y'all like the Carrie theme music on the intro. Prayerfully, I can go ahead and get some more like horror theme music in the intro of these podcasts, and hopefully YouTube doesn't spank my booty for it. But yeah, man, how y'all feeling fit? You know what I mean? Got Michael Myers on the hoodie with the murder house right there. The murder house right there. You see who the heck on the knife? You see who's on the knife? On the reflection of the knife. I'm like, Jordan, why are you so graphic? Why you always wear graphic things? Because I live in a graphic world. And I have graphic dreams. Oh, bars. I'm just playing. Well, I mean, not really. I mean, God be showing me stuff. But anyway, so, yeah. So, I don't know if I mentioned it in the first episode, but Evil Dead 2, man, this was the start of my horror buffness, like buffing out the horror, bulking out on the horror, baby. You know what I'm saying? I had to bust out the purple velvet. You know what I mean? Go with the hoodie. Feel me? Ain't it fly? But yeah, shout out to KO Universe, man. My brother was just over here. He, you know what I mean? He shot his episode of, you know, his podcast. I ain't gonna say too much, man, but he got some good stuff coming for y'all. He got some cooking. He got some in the holster for y'all, and he's finna let it blow. He's finna shoot. He's gonna shoot. But anyway, so Evil Dead, right? I was over at this at the Sheridan House, and the thing about the Sheridan House was like it was an apartment building, and there was 2 floors. On the top floor, it had a room that like the door led to the hallway. So like if I wanted to sneak out, nobody would know I'm out because the door was in my room to go outside, like into the hallway of the apartment building to the outside. And it was great. It was great because I was a troublemaker and I would just be in and out 3 in the morning. You know what I mean? Just didn't care. But I go on Netflix, you know what I mean? And there's Evil Dead 2. And my homeboy at the time, I can't say his name out of respect because he didn't want me to say it. He don't want me to say his name. But he was just like, yeah, man, that's a good movie, dog. Like, you know what I mean? You probably like it, man, because he knows I like, you know, old horror movies. Like, it's just something about that nostalgia, vintage feeling. So we put it on. And, man, look. I didn't watch the first one or Army of Darkness before Evil Dead 2. And I have no regrets. So it starts off with Bruce Campbell as Ash, and then his girl, I forgot what her name was in the movie. I forgot a couple of the people's names, so you're going to have to bear with me. But Ash and his girl was driving to this cabin in the woods just to spend some quality time together. And little did they know that it was a research center for the parents of another character that will come in later in the explanation, that was looking up the Necronomicon. I think it's one of the 2. I forgot, but it's basically a book of witchcraft, and they was researching it. The girl's parents was researching it in the cabin that Ash and his girl was going to. So I guess they heard about the cabin. They was like, you know, we're just gonna go to the cabin, and yeah. So they're over at the cabin. You know, they're enjoying themselves. The scenery's beautiful. You know, they're in the middle of the woods. It's a nice area. It's just nice. It's really nice, and I hope I can visit that location someday. But anyway, so yeah, they're in there, you know what I mean? They're in a little honeymoon, little phase, you know what I mean? Just, you know, kissing and dancing and hugging and stuff like that, making me all jealous and stuff like that, because I'm all over here all lonely, even though I'm happy being alone because I'm protecting my energy and girls ain't bothering me and, you know, leeching off me. So, you know what I mean? It's great. But yeah, so I guess like they were getting ready for bed. Ash is playing the piano. She's dancing to it. Then I guess she ends up changing because I guess I don't know what they're about to do. I don't know if they was about to clap or they're just about to. But anyway, so Ash goes into this other room and he sees the Necronomicon and he starts reading it. Then he sees a tape recorder. Then he plays the tape recorder, and it's the girl's mom. I mean, not mom. This is the girl's dad that ends up talking on the radio. Not his girlfriend, but another character. So. As they're doing this, the daughter of the man that was on the camcorder was out with this girl named Bobby Joe and her boyfriend and some other blonde dude, and they was looking for the Necronomicon, not knowing that it was over at the cabin, so that she thought that her parents was at. So anyway, Ash, you know, plays it, and he's reading the book, and then that unleashes the spirit. So there's a demon that was like trapped, I guess, in the woods, and like Ash like unleashed it. So like, you know, it gets to it's charging at the cabin. It's like, yeah, I smell niggas. So it's charging at the cabin. It busts through the cabin. His girl was getting dressed in the other room as he's playing the tape. So the demon possesses his girl. Instant action. So the demon possesses his girl, and she screams when he busts through the window like, boom, yeah. She was like, ah! Ash get to looking like, yo, what just happened? So he runs into the room, and his girl's possessed. She turned around like, yeah, you know what time it is, freaking nasty time. And Ash is like, oh my gosh. So They get to scrapping, you know what I mean? Ash is fighting her, you know, her teeth all jagged, her eyes is white, whatever the heck, you know what I mean? He's over, boom, pow, pow, boom, 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 pow, 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 boom, pow. And then, like, I guess, like, she was pretty strong. So Ash was like, you know what, forget it. Like, mind you, she ain't dead yet. She's just possessed. So Ash grabs a shovel and, pow! He just grabs a nearby shovel and just smacks her in the head with it, smacks her head off, kills her. And, you know, he's just destroyed instantly. You know what I mean? He had to kill his girl. So he goes ahead, throws her body into a grave or whatever like that, and you know what I mean, like, puts a little two tree branches as a cross into the ground, and one's inside to the house. And as he goes inside to the house, the demon tries to come back and tries to get him. So yeah, so, like, you know, he's running through the house, he's running through the house. And I think the demon ends up catching him outside. So, like, he grabs him up and, like, he throws him around in the woods and stuff like that. And, you know what I mean, ends up possessing him. And then eventually, like, luckily for Ash, because, like, he's fighting with his girl all night, like, it ends up being daytime. Now, I might have the timing backwards, but this is so far kind of what happened. So, like, it ends up turning into daytime, and the demon doesn't like sunlight. So Ash ended up getting spared. And the demon flees from Ash because he don't like the sunlight. So Ash was out there asleep outside. Then he wakes up and comes back through and runs back to the house or the cabin. I believe this is when he barricades the cabin doors and the windows and stuff like that. And then later on that night, his girl that he killed yesterday that was possessed ends up getting possessed again. So her body comes out the ground and she get to dancing on that 1970s sexy red type time. You know what I mean? She's out there, you know what I mean, spinning her dislocated head around. And, like, he's watching through the cracks of his the boarded up window. He's like, oh my gosh, like, did she really come up from the dead? And is she really dancing? Like, I didn't just kill her. Like, I didn't just decapitate her. So, you know what I mean, she ends up flying away after she does a little dance number. And Ash is just like, yo, like, what? Like, he couldn't just leave the window. And then she ends up popping up. She pops back up in the window like,
what's up, lover?
You know what I mean? I was like, oh my gosh. So Ash get the and then, like, it scared him so bad, like, he ended up, like, in a chair. I guess the demon made it seem like it was a nightmare, but I guess he, like, passed out and sat down or something. Like, I don't know what happened, but he woke up in the chair like after she was at the window. So it made it seem like he was never at the window, and it made it seem like it was a bad dream. No, because all you see is her head. Because remember, he knocked her head off with a shovel. All you see is her head. I don't even know how she got into the house, but her head just flew on his lap as he was sitting in the chair talking about, hello, lover, with the jagged teeth. I was like, the producers knew what they was doing. The producers knew what they were doing with that severed head flying on his lap with the jagged teeth. No, Ash was not going to do that with the head, because I think he would not want his Yami bit off completely. So, yeah, so the hand, falls on his lap, says, hello, lover, and then bites onto his hand. So he gets the spasm. He's like, he's sitting here banging his hand off of the surrounding areas. Boom, boom, boom. He's smacking it off the wall, smacking it off the counter. I think he's, like, thrusting it into the wall, like, you know what I mean? He's trying to do whatever he can to get the hand off, but the hand just keeps biting harder and harder and harder on his hand. So, you know what I mean? Eventually he gets to the point where he's like, you know what? I got to get to the tool shack to get this head off of my hand. So he goes to the tool shack. He runs, you know what I mean? He's biting harder on his hand. He's falling. He's tripping over his feet. You know what I mean? He's in pain. He's suffering. Like, man's going through it. Like, it hasn't even been like 20 minutes into the movie. So he puts her head into a vice grip that's in the tool shack. And, like, you know, boom, clink, 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 clink. And then, like, squeezes her head. And then, like, her head's sitting there trapped. So, like, of course it let go because he's got her in a vice grip. So this is how you know women are crazy. This nigga had the nerve to gaslight this man as a severed head. Like, baby. It was like, baby,
how could you do this to me? You know we're supposed to be together forever, and I just can't believe, I'm not happy, I'm trying.
I'm like, bro, like, you know dang well Ash is not going to listen to you. You are a severed head trying to guilt trip this man. You ain't even supposed to be talking. You're a head in a vice grip trying to guilt trip this man. So Ash is just sitting there like no, just no. And the next thing you know, before like it can get any worse, like her body, like, it was just the head that he was fighting with, So her body ends up barging into the tool shack with a chainsaw, get silly like this with the chainsaw. I was like, oh my gosh. So after he got done fighting with the head, now he's fighting with her body. And I guess it didn't take him too long to beat up the body, but like I guess he tripped it or he did something to where the body fell, and then he took the chainsaw and then like he just like, you know, chainsawed her head, just got the on her head. So he put her out for real this time. So he runs out the shack and he's just tore up from the floor up because, you know, he just had to kill his girl, you know, fought her like 3 different times. And, you know what I mean? Like, he's just done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just done, as any man would be. So he goes back to the cabin again. Well, actually, I think he tried to run. I think he tried to drive away and leave. And, yeah, I think I missed that part. He tried to run and leave. After he got, before he got thrown around in the woods, like, he tried to run and leave and drive away. But, like, if you look on my channel banner, you can see the scene of what I'm talking about. Like, we tried to go to the bridge, but the bridge was like curled up. Like the demon curled the bridge up and like separated it, and it was throwing up G's. If you're from Pittsburgh, you know what G's is. You know how they be throwing up G's. So the bridge was throwing up G's like this, and he destroyed the bridge. So the demon chased him back to the cabin, and that's when he got thrown around in the woods. But anyway, so he goes back to the cabin because he's trapped there, and basically like he's looking in the mirror at this point because he's like, what's going on in my life? I can't do this no more. So this is my favorite part of the movie, right? Well, one of my favorites. There's 2 of my favorite parts of the movie, but this is the first one. So, like, he's looking in the mirror, and then Ash, like, jumps out the mirror and grabs him like, yeah, you think you're crazy? Because I am crazy. And you need to get it together because I'm not changing. And, like, he said something along them lines, and, like, you know, like, he played that part really good. I like that part whenever he was in the mirror acting crazy with himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how the stunt double did it, the one that was like standing in the mirror for Ash as he was acting as his reflection, but like I would have slapped Ash. I would have slapped him straight up. But so anyway, so he ends up checking the mirror because, like, you know what I mean, I guess it ended up being a trance, so he has to hit him with the, you know what I mean, he has to check to see if the reflection is actually just his reflection. So once he was chilling, his hand get to hurting, and then like his veins in his hand start turning black and his nails grow. He get the demon was possessing his hand, not his body, but his hand. So then his hand got to, he was like, and then he started fighting his hand. I was like, bro, he's fighting his hand now, like his own hand. So like his hand was beating him up too. His hand was beating him like he owed him money, bro. Like his hand grabbed him, smacking his head off basically what Ash did to his girl's head, the hand was doing to him. So like he was hitting his head, he was hitting him off the counters, the walls, you know what I mean? He was punching him, right hook, left hook, uppercut, all types of stuff. He was beating this man up. He was beating his own host up. He was beating up his own body. The hand. His hand wasn't his hand no more. It was beating him up. Then he got the plates. He started smashing plates off his head. Then Ash, he did something stupid, man. He tried to drown his hand in running water in the sink. I was like, bro, how you gonna try to drown your hand in running water in the sink? The nigga fell asleep, as anybody would. If you pouring warm water in your hand for a long period of time, I'm falling asleep and I'm peeing myself because it's warm water. So the hand was playing dead with him. You know what I mean? Like, okay, like this nigga's stupid, but I'm gonna go ahead and just act like I'm drowned. And then, like, you know, when Ash fell asleep with the hand in the sink, like the hand got up and looked at him and grabbed the plate and smashed him. That's when he kept smashing him with plates and he knocked him out. So he's about to keep hitting him with plates. And then the hand looked over and he saw a knife on the ground. So he started dragging his body to the knife. And as soon as he's about to get to the knife, I guess that's when Ash woke up, or he was playing dead too. And then he stabbed his hand. So his hand got the and then he saw the chainsaw that he ended up bringing back into the cabin. And oh yeah, he did end up grabbing a hunting rifle on the way over, as far as when he had the chainsaw as well. But like, you know, he wasn't expecting his hand to possess something, so he dropped the shotgun, or should I say the boomstick. But anyway, so he grabs the chainsaw. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I got you, and I got to cut you off. Now he took that Bible scripture: if your hand causes you to stumble, cut it off, to a whole different level. So he got to cut his hand off. So I don't know. That man lost his mind at that point because like he act like he ate it, like he ate that, like he just cut his hand off and that was it. So his hand didn't die. You feel me? I guess he ended up bandaging his nub, but his hand started running into a rat hole in the wall. So I guess he got to shooting at it. Bah, bah. He's shooting all through the wall, trying to shoot his hand like bah, bah. And then what happened? I guess like he ended up hitting the spot where it started bleeding and the hand screeched. I don't know if he shot the hand for real, but I feel like he just shot the house because the house started bleeding profusely and then started spraying out blood on him. And now he's like, oh my gosh, like this is disgusting. Like, how do we go from killing my girl, you know what I mean, fighting my hand, to shooting the wall, the blood spraying at me from the wall, and it ended up turning to ectoplasm. It was black, and it was like a fire hose just spraying all over him. Like, I would have spit up. I would have been like, it would have got in my mouth. It would have got in my mouth. I would have been pissed. Like, homies, I would have been pissed. Like, I would have been just pissed. But like, everything that like poured on him and sprayed him ended up getting sucked back into the wall. But like, all the stuff was still on him though, so he was just disgusting. So remember the other people I told you about, the daughters of the people of the dad that was reading the recorder. Basically what happened with the parents was that was in the cabin before Ash and his girl. The same thing that happened with Ash and his girl happened to the dad of the other girl and the mom. So they ended up already getting tore up by the demon. But so the girl ends up coming back with Bobby Joe and them on all that, but Ash doesn't know that because he just got sprayed up with blood and ectoplasm. So when he hears Bobby Joe outside on the porch, he shoots because, like, you know what I mean, he's valid and they're both valid in the situation. So he shoots because he don't know what's going on. And then Bobby Joe gets grazed, so he ends up going to the door to see what he hit. And then that's when Bobby Joe's boyfriend gets the bow. Like, nigga, you just shot my girl. What is wrong with you? He just started beating the brakes off. And he just, boy, didn't I tell you? I was like, dang, bro. I was like, he's beating his behind. I was like, I can't even get mad at him because, like, you know what I mean? Like, he shot Bobby Joe. They don't know what's going on. Ash definitely don't know what's going on. So, yeah, like, the blonde dude was holding him down as Bobby Joe's boyfriend was beating him. Luckily, Shorty got a graze, but the other girl came in. It was like, Mom, Dad, where you at? Oh, my gosh. And then he looked at Ash. She looked at Ash, and then she looked at the chainsaw, and it was a bloody chainsaw. And she automatically assumed that Ash killed him. Killed her parents. So she get over to Ash and she's like, what did you do to him? What did you do to him? And they was like, man, let him go, man. Let's put him in the cellar. And then they threw him in the cellar. So when they throw Ash in the cellar, they're basically investigating to see what's going on because she don't know where her parents is at. And then she ends up going to the tape that Ash played earlier that unleashed the demon. And they found a necronomicon that they was looking for at the burnt down castle, which will be explained in Army of Darkness. But so, which is weird because it's kind of like a time loop. This is like they kind of trapped in a time lapse. It's kind of crazy. But so yeah, so she starts playing the tape from where Ash ended it because, you know, his girl ended up getting possessed and, you know, you had to investigate. And like basically it was her dad telling her, like, leaving her a message about what happened. He was just like, yeah, like the demon came out and possessed your mother and I had to kill her. I didn't want to, but I had to kill her. The same thing that happened to Ash. So he's like, I had to dismember her and I had to put her corpse in the cellar. And then like Ash is down there, like he's pissed. So he's just sitting on the steps and he's just listening. And then when he heard that part, he was like, what? And then he got to looking around like, wait, what you mean? I'm in the cellar. And then next thing you know, the mom comes up like, young man, young man, young man. Like that Mike Epps stand up, like, young man, young man. She was disgusting. She looked like a bag of vomit. Like a bag full of Taylor Port vomit. But yeah, so like she just looked disgusting and she started walking up to Ash like, yeah, come here. Like, come here. She said, come here. She was like, yeah. She said, can I get up? Oh, yeah. She's like, come here. Yeah. I was like, heck no. I was like, you better not, Ash. Then Ash, you know, you get the pounding on the ceiling. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out, please. And, you know what I mean? The girl was like, all right, let him out, let him out, let him out. So they hurry up, let her out, let him out. You know what I mean? He gets out. Wait. I missed my favorite part. So before we even got to this point, before he shot Bobby Joe, my favorite part was when he went to sit down after getting sprayed with all that blood, and the chair breaks. The chair breaks on him, and he falls onto the ground. And there's this taxidermied deer head on the wall that got possessed, right? And it said, I was like, bro, this deer is dying laughing at this nigga Ash, bro. I was like, bro, this is hilarious. The Ash gets looking at it like, huh? And then the cabinet start laughing at him. And then the chair get to laughing at him. And then the lamp start laughing like, so Ash start laughing with him like, this man lost his mind. He lost his mind. So he starts dancing with the light as he's laughing, and that's when he came to the situation where he shot Bobby Joe. When he heard him outside, it interrupted all the laughing, and he shot Bobby Joe. That's when that happened. But that was my favorite part that I almost forgot to mention. But so now back to the part where we was at when they let him out the cellar. Basically the mom came out to get Ash, and then like, you know, they was trying to fight him. Bobby Joe's boyfriend was trying to fight, you know what I mean? She was beating up Bobby Joe's boyfriend like poof, boom, bow, beat him up. The blonde dude tried to run up, and then like she like smacked him. She did something. She either smacked him, backhanded him, or shoved him to where he flew and his head went into the picture frame, and that was hilarious. He said the boosh, doosh, and like he was done. He was done. The man was knocked out, bro. He was done. Like it was over for the man, cuz it was over for that nigga, bro. So yeah, man, he got tore up, man, and basically he was out for the count. So I forgot what Ash did. I think he shot her back into the cellar. I can't remember what he did, but they got her back into the cellar, but and locked it up. But like as like they was like trying to shove her down, like she propped her head up in the cellar door, so they kept stomping on her head, and then it ended up squeezing her eye out, so it popped out, and then Bobby Joe was screaming in the background like ah, and then the eye flew into her mouth, and she said, ah! And I was dying laughing. I was like, bro. No, her eye did not just fly into her mouth. I was like, bro, there's completely too much going on in this movie, bro. It was like nonstop action, and I love it. So they got her back into the cellar as a result of that. But they had the dude that his head hit the picture frame. They ended up having him on the couch, you know, icing his head or whatever. He was just, I was like, Dad, you can't take a hit, bro. But I mean, he did get tore up though. He got balled up. Like that picture frame was obliterated. But so yeah, you know, the mom, she pop up and she get to singing to her daughter, basically a nursery rhyme that she used to sing to her while she was alive, like hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird, and if that mockingbird won't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a Sorry. Anyway, so yeah, she gets to singing to her and was like, remember that song, baby? I used to sing that to you all the time. And their daughter got up like, whatever that is in the cellar, that is not my mother. And then the demon ends up possessing the dude, the blonde dude that got his head smashed into the pan. So like, you know what I mean, like just nonstop. So you get the and he's flying, he's floating and stuff like that, like on The Exorcist and stuff like that. He's like, yeah. He's like, hold on, I gotta put the reverb back on. He's like, we are what was and will be again. We want what you had. And the mom was like, we want your life. We want life. So that's basically like their motivation for, you know, why they was doing what they was doing and stuff like that, like trying to kill everybody. So yeah, so they get into another fight with the man, right? And I guess like he flew over and bit the Bobby Joe's boyfriend or whatever, And then Ash ended up hitting him with the axe and chopping him up, and like you see his guts and purple green blood flying everywhere, like. And then the mom was still talking smack through the cellar, like, yeah, it's all right, we're still gonna come back and get you, it's all good, it's all right. And I'm like, nigga, you only saying that because you ain't the one getting hacked up right now, it's the blonde dude. He was getting on my nerves anyway, so I'm glad that, Ash got him out of there. But I don't promote murder, but he was possessed, and he was gonna kill them. So, yeah, shoot. What happened? So basically after that, the demon started messing with him, was basically like just sounding like a freight train running through the house and stuff like that, imitating noises and stuff. And then I guess Bobby Joe got scared and she ran out. So when she ran out, she died. The tree, like, because there's a demon that went into a tree, and Bobby Joe's boyfriend even mentioned, like, there was a big old tree outside, but it seemed like it just walked up and disappeared. And that's exactly what it did. It got up, walked away, and disappeared. So the tree ends up snatching Bobby Joe when she ran outside, and like ended up turning her to a tree herself. He violated her, like, for real. Like, he turned her to a tree. I'm like, what are you doing to her in the next life? What are you doing to her? So, Bobby Joe's boyfriend is a simp. So he goes out, he grabs the gun, the boomstick, and he pistol whips Ash, like, come on, we're going to go and find my Bobby Joe. That's what we going to do, nigga. That's what we going to do. So, I can't say that on live because I'm trying to start going live with these podcasts and stuff like that. But yeah, so so he goes ahead and forces him and the daughter of the parents that are dead to go out and look for Bobby Joe. So, as they go outside, he puts the whips Ash again, like, Bobby Joe! He starts screaming her name, Bobby Joe! Bobby Joe! Where you at, Bobby Joe? And then Ash is like, bro, you're so stupid, you're dumb. He's like, I don't care, I want my Bobby Joe. He was whipped. He was whipped for real. Like, I don't know what Bobby Joe did to that man, but he was whipped. He did not want to leave that one. So I would have been like, look, I live in Oakland. I could get another one. Like, okay. Like, it's not like she's a believer anyway. She's a heathen. That's why we're in the situation in the first place. It's because we're heathens. I'm not a heathen. I'm a man of God, but like, yes, they're heathens, so they're getting obliterated. So anyway, so the demon starts running because he hears him screaming, Bobby Joe! He get the that's the sound it makes when it charges at you. So like, Ash and the girl was like, F that, we going back in the cabin, and they run back to the cabin. And then, he was like, Bobby. He was like, Bobby. The demon said, he said, Joe. And then he ended up getting snatched and dragged away. I don't know what he did to him, but I was like, I don't care, because he started getting on my nerves. So everybody else died, basically. It was just it was just the girl and Ash at that point. And at that point, this is when I think Ash he ended up going to the shack and making like a makeshift hand out of the chainsaw. So he made his hand to that chainsaw, which is that iconic moment where he has his hand for a chainsaw, and then he got the boomstick in the other hand, because he had to go back into the cellar because before Bobby Joe's boyfriend forced them to go outside to look for Bobby Joe, he took the papers to like cast the demon back into wherever it was to cast the demon away. He took the papers and threw it into the cellar with the dead mom. So he kind of like basically sabotaged them to look for Bobby Joe. So he ends up going down there, trying to defend himself to look for Bobby Joe. Wait, no, to look for the papers. I'm sorry. And then he grabs the papers, and I guess like he ends up fighting with the mom a little bit. Then he throws the papers up. I forgot what happened. I don't know if it was like the body came back, like he threw the body back into the door or something like that, as far as Bobby Joe's boyfriend. And I guess like they threw the body into the cellar and the mom ate the body. I don't know what happened, but basically, long story short, they started reading the pages, opening up the portal to cast the demon away. Shorty got stabbed by that big old dagger that came with the Necronomicon as she read the Necronomicon. So she passed out real quick. Ash was like, oh my gosh, read the effing book. And like he's like getting pulled into the portal, and the demon was getting pulled into the portal. And I was just like, yo, there's too much going on. But she ended up mustering up enough strength to be like, yeah, like, oh, like, ickety bookety. and finished the spell, and she gave it to go. She said, "Uggity buggity," and died. I was like, "Oh shoot!" And then Ash got sucked into the next round, and that's basically when Army of Darkness comes back. I just pointed. I have an Army of Darkness movie banner over here. It's over here, like off camera, but you can't see it. That's Beetlejuice right there, and then that's Children of the Corn right next to it, and then that's Carrie, and then that's Predator, and then that's The Shining back there. But anyway, so that's basically when the Army of Darkness starts, but that's the end of Evil Dead 2. But I love that movie, man. Basically, what I love about it was like basically the beginning part where Ash was basically playing the whole movie by himself. Bruce Campbell, he played that part really good. He played that part. That's my nigga. Like, basically that shows like how demons can come at you in a multitude of ways in a season of isolation. When you're isolated, that's when the devil comes at you as hard as when you're alone, and that shows your true strength. If you know how to be alone, man, you can go through anything in life, man. Like you know what I mean? That's just how God got you in isolation. Like Jesus had to be in isolation, and he tried Jesus for 40 days in the wilderness by himself. He got Eve while she was by herself. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, baby. He was like, yeah, baby.
You want to be smart like God. You want to know everything.
She was like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but like, you know, we can't be doing this. Oh my gosh, you're so naughty. We can't be doing this. Like, you know, like, he said not to touch the fruit. He was like, just eat the damn fruit. Just eat the fruit. So she went ahead, ate the fruit, and you see how we are. You see how we are now, right? You see how we are now. But shoot. That's something I like, because like I'm currently in a season of isolation, man. I'm currently by myself, and like God's been like building so much character within me, man, and he's been just doing so much with me. He's been revealing a lot of things about myself, and like I really appreciate it. So that's another thing I like about the movie. It's like kind of like shows like what goes on in isolation without people knowing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. Like the world kind of gives like subliminal scripture without you knowing, and that's the crazy thing. So yeah, man, that's Evil Dead pretty much. I know I was kind of all over the place with like how everything happened and stuff like that, but dude, like I was dying laughing whenever that deer was laughing at Ash when he broke that chair, bro. I was dying laughing, bro. I was dying laughing. But shoot, but I am running out of time, so I'm gonna have to try to hurry up and wrap this up, man. But like I appreciate y'all for watching.
I hope you had a nice fright.
Better pray the Lord will bless y'all. May he keep y'all. May he cast his face to shine on y'all. May he give y'all peace. I hope everything that y'all working for comes to pass. I hope that success starts to manifest in your life. And I gotta hurry up and drink my little sip of tea, because I made tea before the podcast started, but I never drank it. So I'm gonna take my first sip.
Excuse me. Sorry.
It doesn't matter anymore. Yeah.
Sorry about that. But yeah, man,
we late.
and if you move, you ain't a horror movie buff. If you breathe, I don't know. Anyway, shalom. I pray that everything work out with y'all. I love y'all, and I'll catch y'all in the next episode. I have a lot to talk to y'all about. We turned up. We late.
Get late.